Hello and welcome back to NJCDC's The Loft. Today, we welcome back the Neighborhood Help Center with some new faces here. Can we all go around the table and just introduce ourselves?
I'll start. My name is Christina Tone. Thank you again for the invitation. Christina Tone, Assistant Director for the Neighborhood Health Center.
My name is Aiden Jarina. I'm an intern with the NHC.
My name is Oscar Acosta. I'm the new outreach coordinator.
Awesome. I'm so glad to see some new faces in here in the studio today. You know, I know you've been working here, Aiden, for a while now. How long you been here?
I've been here for about a month and a half.
For a month and a half, yeah.
Yes.
And, you know, you've been doing great work here already,
Yes,
you know. And then, Oscar, how long you been here so far?
So this Saturday, the 28th, makes a month.
Okay, wow. Okay. Yeah, so, you know, I'm sure, as you already know, the Neighborhood Health Center is always super busy. And so today I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about the mini grant workshops and whatnot. But first, I want to talk to you guys. Aiden, I know you're a student. Can you clarify, so where you're going to school right now, and what's been the most surprising part about working in a nonprofit compared to like your studies?
Yeah, so I just finished my freshman year up at Centenary University.
Oh, okay.
I play baseball up there. It's a small D3 up in Hackettstown.
Okay, I see you.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
So it's been a great experience. I major in business with a concentration in sports management. So it kind of ties hand in hand with the networking aspect. It's been great so far. It's been great. Just meeting new people, getting to know the backgrounds of what happened with nonprofits. I never really understood what a nonprofit was or how it ran. I always knew about NJCDC, but now that I know the backgrounds with it, how grants work, how we encounter a bunch of different people every day, it's been a great experience.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure business management is like super helpful in this field. So like, how do you think that your skills in like sports management might translate to the work you do here at the Help Center?
Yeah, like I said, networking is the biggest thing. Just meeting new people, taking my knowledge from the classroom, whether that's business ethics and just how to talk to people, or even when it comes down to anything as simple as Excel sheets and just inputting data, all types of things like that, and then interacting with the community. Like I know a lot about the backgrounds of sports or the backgrounds on how to conduct events and whatnot. So when it comes to our weekly events or even here at the youth center, just putting something together for the kids, I feel like it goes hand in hand right there.
Yeah, 100%. What do you enjoy most about the admin work and the event works that you guys do here, been doing with us?
Yeah, I love the community aspect of it. I've lived in Paris in my whole life. I've been brought up with NJCDC when it comes to going to CCSP. My brother went to PFC and CCSP. So I've been around it my whole life and just giving back. Like, for example, we had a Memorial Day barbecue about a month ago, and just seeing the kids, nobody left with an empty stomach. Everybody left with a toy. Everybody had fun. We had a bouncy house for the kids. So it's just great just seeing them. Knowing that people come to us with problems and you can always leave them with maybe not their whole problem solved, but just a path in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's always great. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, for sure. And I know like the work that NHC does, you know, is some of the hardest work in the organization.
Yeah.
Right. What are some like obstacles you've encountered while working with our team?
Yeah.
And how'd you overcome it?
Yeah, I would say the social work aspect of things. I've never had a background in social work. I didn't expect to be this first person with people, I would say. But just having great role models of like Christina, Antonio, Gexon, just being able to shadow them, May too, and seeing how they handle people and the different paths that we could go in terms of if they come in with job assistance, housing assistance, different things like that. I've learned from them, and it's been a great experience, like I said.
That's great. Yeah, I know. I mean, you've been here for a month and a half.
Yes.
Right? How long do you have left of your internship?
I have about a month and a half left. I'm halfway through.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what goals do you have for the remaining month and a half you have over here?
Now that I'm more settled in, it's just continuing to improve, continuing to build connections with people, continuing to help people out, learn. There's always room to learn in this organization. Like I said, we're surrounded by great people, so just coming in with a smile every day on my face and just helping out where I can. It's been a great experience. I'm very grateful for it. So, yeah.
Most definitely.
We're very happy to
Yeah.
have him. I love his smile. I love the attitude, the good energy. And that's what we need, because
Yeah.
the work that we do is very difficult and people don't know how much it takes from us, our energy. And we have to be everywhere and still, continue the work, especially the admin work, because you can be working outside with the clients, but then you have to come back and report. And, it's, stressful, but just coming to the office and see, happy faces and,
Yeah.
it gives us good energy. So it's good to work in a good environment like that. So I'm very happy and excited and, looking forward for the next coming weeks.
Yeah, me too.
Aiden.
Me too. So Oscar, I'm gonna turn my attention to you now. I know one of the things you've been heavily working on is the mini grant program. Can you explain or share some highlights from the selection process for this new mini grant round?
Yeah, absolutely. So my first week here, the mini grant was like the first project I ever had to work on. It was exciting when Christina explained to me like what was the reasoning behind it. There were going to be 10 candidates that were selected to get $1,000, and they pretty much had the power to run it as if it was their own business, which was awesome, because I even asked her, like, are we going to like micromanage? Are they going to, she's like, no, we're giving people of the neighborhood an opportunity to run and do it on their own. The point of this is so that they can learn. If they fail or if they mess up, we're here to support them and get them back on track.
Yeah.
As far as like the selection process, we had over like 46 applicants. So that first week of work, I was reading literally every single application, their names, the emails, addresses, the purpose, what their plan was, even having to call majority of them because there was a lot of information we had to retrieve that they didn't provide. So calling them, and it actually brought the project to life, hearing it come from them, because you get to hear the excitement for it. You get to hear their passion. You get to see that this isn't something that they just want to do for the money. They want to do it because they want to serve the community. And I think that trickled down to the final 10 that was selected.
Wow, what a first week of work.
Yeah.
Yo, that's like
Crazy,
You
crazy.
can add like the time to get work done.
Literally.
So you said you had to go through many different applications, right? If you had to pick one mini grant project to actually participate in yourself, what would you pick?
The one that I would pick, I would have to say piano.
The piano?
The piano. And the reason why is from a very, I would say from as young as I can remember, piano has always been the one instrument that I've always desired to learn and play.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I asked my parents for a piano for Christmas, and they bought me the piano, a keyboard, but the lessons never came. So that
classic.
keyboard just literally collected dust.
Yeah.
But it always remained my passion. So like even and the reason why I would choose that grant to attend would be because I look at myself as a kid. There's other people in this community who probably have the same desire or the same like interest in that instrument or any instrument, but their parents can afford it, or if they could afford it, maybe they can afford the lessons.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're able to provide this, that they're getting for free, to be able to come here to a fully equipped studio and with an instructor who's beyond knowledgeable and has a passion to do this from the kindness of his heart, I think is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And I also play a little bit piano, and for the most part I was self-taught, but it's hard learning that way. And there was one point where when I was in high school, the youth center was offering temporarily was offering like piano lessons. And once you actually get training from someone who really knows what they're doing, like it kind of opens your eyes to what you can do. So I think that service is really invaluable.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure that's gonna be very exciting for many people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What's been the most exciting or inspiring moment you've experienced while working in the mini grant program so far?
The most inspiring would be, so last week I had to schedule an appointment for each winner to come in so that we can go over the final details, plot out the schedule, put some final touches to everything. And having them come into the office and hearing their story and their background was really inspiring. One particular was Carmen, the balloon lady. She migrated here from Peru. She had no work experience, nothing to pretty much provide for her family. And to hear the fact that she took on this little trait and turned it into her own personal business. She didn't have to depend on anybody to be able to put food on her table or hope that a job will give her a call. She created the job for herself.
Yeah.
And that's something she's giving back to the community. And whether she has 5 people in her class or 20 people in her class, she's providing them that same opportunity for them to learn something, turn it into your business, and make a profit.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I love
I know.
hearing that. I'm very excited to have Oscar with us. Even though, NHC, we don't have sometimes a plan, but we know we have a passion. And we know that when we, receive grants or receive opportunities, we're going to make the best of it. But also involving not only, participants and, but our staff. We want our people to understand the needs of our community so they can also leave the same, have the same feeling.
Yeah,
working.
100%. Yeah. Hey, listen, it's a never-ending story with the NHC and all these,
Well, you know that,
yeah,
right?
I know.
He started with us.
Yeah.
He did what was that? Tutoring program,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
With Chris and Nas and yes, and look at him now.
I know.
Running the podcast of the
It's
Loft.
amazing.
It's great.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. But Christine, I'm gonna turn my attention to you because
Yes.
I've been giving you enough love this episode. So as far as the mini grant workshops go, right? How will you ensure that all these programs are accessible to all residents of Patterson?
Yeah, so we have, and we talked about this many times before in our podcast. We have a WhatsApp community.
Yep.
And we already have over 1,200 families there. So the first thing we did was we created a survey that had all of our programs just to test the community to see how they were going to welcome all of our programs. And in like less than 3 days, we had over 100 families registered, which gave us a total of over 250 kids that were interested in, in the classes. And, that's just without us actually sharing, we have a large database. And so today I'm probably going to be sending text messages and emails to make sure all of our, families have access to the information and they can register. Yeah, so we try to get to everyone that we know that participated in our programs before.
Yeah, most definitely. I know Oscar was talking about before how you guys aren't really gonna micromanage, but support if needed. What kind of support? I'm wondering. Will you guys provide for these workshops?
So we're giving our participants locations. So they don't have to spend money renting a space to teach the class. We also doing the outreach for them. We're using
Marketing.
all of our marketing, social media, web page. We're calling. We're using our all the manpower we have just to connect with the community. So all of that, usually if you have a business, you'll spend a lot of money for that, right? We also going to be calling the participants to make sure they come, and we will be monitoring every class, and we also our marketing department will be visiting all of our classes to make sure that that they're well attended, and also that we can capture stories and how things are going with them.
Most definitely.
Yeah, all the support.
So the last thing I kind of want to touch on before we end today is how do you plan to measure the impact and success of these workshops? Yeah,
so from start to end, right? First, we want to know, especially with the participants, how what was the reason why they applied, right? Their passion and everything. But we want them to learn. So we're gonna be checking on them every week to make sure they have their attendance on point. They spend the money the right way, and they and they're happy what they're doing. So we just want them to finish with satisfaction and learning everything that they could for the program, so they can reapply and they can also start their own business maybe.
Yeah.
So that's how we're going to connect with them to check, and also participation. We want to make sure that all participants are going to all the events, because we have so many. We have 10 workshops, classes, but we also have other programs in different locations. So we want to make sure that they don't only participate with us, but also they have opportunities to go into the youth center or the arts classes, because we are the outreach department, and we want to make sure that our participants get a chance to enroll in any of our programs.
Yeah, most
So,
definitely.
yes.
Very important. That's very
Yes.
important. Yeah.
Very excited.
Well, thank you so much for coming and talking about the mini grant workshops. I know the last round was very successful. I'm looking forward to the success of this round of workshops, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys here next month.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.